Hey, Pam. Hey, Amber. I said, hey, I'm just filming all of it.
Oh, okay. I was like,
yeah. I'm gonna eventually send this to Michael since he's hey, Michael. How are you doing? See you later. Hey, Cars. Did you see Grandpa and Nana? How big you are! How are you doing? Pretty good? Big shower. I mean, gosh.
Kids have grown up. We're starting to get a house full of teenagers. Amber turned 16, and Janelle turned 17, and lots of teenagers happening around here, and a lot of going on a lot of dates and that sort of thing. The kids have done a lot of music, a lot of athletics. Sarah is the star softball player. She made all-stars every year after year after year. Ben plays together. They do a lot of music now. Let's see, Dallin turned 10 years old. He is a brilliant kid. Reads
That's right.
About 10 times as many books as I've ever thought about reading. Samuel is a good kid too. All right, I'm going to turn time over to Stan. Where are you at? Stan, give us a report on your family.
The biggest thing that's happened to our family is, guess what?
Moved to Dubai.
We moved to Dubai. Okay. We were having a great time, and everybody was falling in love with Bidorians, which they thought that they could not do, except for family. Now, Janelle, were you second team all-district defense? Janelle's a great basketball player, notwithstanding her lack of ability to jump. Janelle compensates for her lack of fleetness. So she's compensated and she's great defensively. And Brandon is going to try to break the school record in the mile. She's doing real well. And she scored all the points on the basketball team on one game. She said, "Daddy, we won, and I scored all the points." The first time they won, the score was 11-7. She scored 11. So, Preston,
they were talking about Shireen.
Preston doing great
paused it for a second.
and football and basketball, and he's just starting to pass this out. And Jana, where's Jana? Yeah, there she is. Jana has started to pick up the guitar, and she's the only gymnast in the family. She can do back bends and cartwheels, and now what is that fancy one? A handspring. Whatever that is. I didn't think the Packers could do that. We didn't have it in us. Didn't have that extra muscle in our legs. And yesterday she had a birthday. Happy birthday, Jana. She is now 9 years old. Watch him. Standing long jump, jumps as long as anybody. He's 7 years old.
Come show us, David.
He likes to sing. We're done. The rest of them are, we don't know, they're all the same as everybody else's little kids. So, hey, we love you, Grandpa, Grandma.
He wants to show us real quick. He wants to show real quick.
Oh, okay, here he goes. Step out for you. Ready to go.
It was a helium tank. And you look at it and he goes, whose oxygen tank is that? That's how it knows for the boys. I wanted to make sure everybody was healthy. Our family. Okay, Kara's our oldest. She turns 12 just this month. And she has turned into a dream babysitter over the last... about last year. She has taken on a new role in our family. Very maternal figure and wonderful and cheerful. She's also a twirler in the Vider Junior High School twirl team. And she's third chair symphonic band on the flute. And she's learning how to play the piano extremely well because she's got Dr. Thompson and Mr. Thompson. That's right, Mr. Thompson. He ought to be called Dr. Thompson. But he is Mr. Thompson, and he's teaching quite a few kids in his family. Okay, Blake is a big fish in a little pond. He got put in a class where everybody was rowdy, but he was the only guy in the class to make straight A's. And he was very attentive. And he's a fabulous Warcraft player, and he teaches the other boys and girls in our family how to play. Christina has learned how to sing. And she also has learned how to play the piano quite well in the last year. And we're real proud of her. Eric, where's Eric? Eric is 4 years old and just a sweet boy. We call him Mighty Joe Young. He likes that. And then our two little ones, Lizzie and Kenny, are only about a year and 2 months apart. And for a while there, neither was old enough to get into the nursery, so we had two babies out in the foyer all the time. But now, both of them are in the nursery. So we're able to go to class. We're about the same size. So did I leave anybody out? I think that's it. On to Dan.
Hey! We just barely moved when y'all left. So we've got the driveway and some grass. And Allison, our youngest Michael, went to school, and so Allison's able to come to work. And she works until noon during the school year. She's off all summer. It's been a great blessing for us and for everyone, frankly. She does have a good job, and everyone is blessed by her big brain. Brent's doing fantastic. He is the second chair symphonic band on the saxophone, and he also loves to play basketball. Looking forward to trying out for the team. He also went to scout camp at Preston and got 8 merit badges in 1 week. He's a good boy. He was ordained to be a deacon a couple of weeks ago, and we're very proud of him. Angela, where's Angela? And that's Natalie. Well, Angela is on the swim team, and she's learning to swim. And all you should see, everybody, we never thought she would learn to swim. She has flippers, but she can go now without a life jacket. And we hope that by the end of the summer, she'll be able to swim without life jacket or flippers. She still goes with one hand and was trying to get 2 hands, but we're very proud of Angela. And she sings in the talent show, and every time she sings, all the grown-ups cry. Natalie has become a fabulous piano player. She won first place in the Escapades Junior Division on the piano. She is also an accomplished gymnast who has never gotten lower than a 9.0 on the vault, and is fearless when she does that. She's also a dancer, as with Angela. Michael is perhaps our most energetic. And, well, I didn't forget piano. No, you won the Escapades with the piano. Michael's perhaps our most energetic, and he is certainly our earliest reader and our earliest talker. And he'll let you know all about it if you ask him. Thank you all.
You go, you're the pecker.
This is a great slideshow. I can't think of any equivalent accomplishment. Our children are so young still. Jenny and I just moved a couple weeks ago to the house that Dad and Nancy used to live in, the little white house, and we're real excited to be here and play around. So Carson is really excited about living with his cousins. It's really great since moving here. 8 o'clock in the morning, we get little knock-knocks and bright-eyed, beautiful little children saying, "Can Avery come play?" So Carson is 4, Avery's 2, and Wyatt is half. And he wants to stick everything in his mouth. And he wants to walk real bad in the morning, and he goes, so that's his version of talking.
Okay, 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's it. So there's really not much to say, just we're proud of our
We're
children.
the high jump, and Avery, she makes straight A's. No dating yet.
No dating. That's about it. We're proud of it.
I better sleep.
You're taking ball and dance. Oh, yeah.
Since y'all got on y'all's mission, we have moved to Seaport and back to Rayburn Country. We have Katie, who is 10 years old. She just finished the 4th grade, and her lowest grade this year was a 94. We got Emily, who just finished the 2nd grade, and she's on the Jasper Outlaw cheer team, who finished 2nd place in nationals, so we were proud of her. Juliana just finished pre-K. She'll be in kindergarten next year, and she's also going to be on the cheer team. And the biggest news we have is Mr. Logan, who is sitting back there between Juliana's legs. That's the reason that Bernie and Nancy went on their mission. They found him and brought him back to us. So it's a big addition to our family.
Well, we just moved into what they call the big house. Nobody knows whose house to call it. So we just call it the Big Packard Estate, and we're so excited. I'm going to keep it real clean. I'm staying in front of everybody, so I have to do it. I'm real excited with all this cabinet space and all this room. Kids are doing great. The girls haven't even lived in the house yet, so we're excited to show them their rooms. Meredith's never made a B in her life. We got her all A's all 4 years of school, and she's Mom's great helper. I'm glad I had her first, so she can help me in everything that I do. And she's quite the artist. We know she plays the piano well, but she's shown us that she's a very good artist. She got her own artist book and taught herself how to draw. Braden is next. Braden is doing so well. He's become very social. He says what he wants and says what he thinks. And he loves his cousins. Yes, you. And he did the talent show and stole the show, and everyone laughed so loudly. Yeah. He's the most social autistic person you'll ever meet. And he loves his cousins, especially the 4-year-olds, 4-year-old boys who play rough and tough. Madison loves, her favorite thing in the world is to make other people happy. Every time I give her money for something, she will not spend on herself. She wants to go buy everybody stuff. And she says it's just way more fun doing stuff for other people. It's weird. So it's a great characteristic. And she's also the fastest runner probably in the whole 2nd grade. She got first blue ribbons and everything. Now Madeline may be passing her up.
She went to track and field, they had 9 minutes, she won 1st place in 8.
Yeah, very athletic. And so all that energy that you've got is coming into good use. Now Macy is also won 1st place in all of her track and field events except for the softball throw, but every running event. So she's another little Chilton runner. They got it from their grandma, who was
Probably never
state
held a
champion.
softball before.
Yeah, never played softball. And she's very good at being a peacemaker. Macy is very helpful and responsible and dependable and a very good peacemaker. She likes to make everybody happy. Mallory has finally gotten out of her terrible twos, and I'm sure the whole world knew about that. It took her 4 years to get out, and now she's just she's a little bit better. And she's out of town this week, and she's on her way back. And she is a songbird, can sing like an angel, I think. We're surprised with her early developed talent. And Marin is potty trained. And the greatest addition is after thinking there's no way I could have another boy, I got a little boy, Bradley. So he's a lot of fun. Got a Chilton man child. And Jeff's doing great. We love that house, and he's working so hard every day, and it's fun to work on projects together. Glad to have Dad and Nancy back.
Well, since you guys have been gone 6 months ago, we moved from our house on Jefferson to what used to be the McElroy's house on Port T Road, just right next to everybody. We moved there 6 months ago. We love it. John was released as the bishop, passed that on to David, wherever he is, and now serves as a scoutmaster and loves that. I just got back from Alaska doing some salmon and halibut fishing. Caught an 80-pound salmon. Or halibut, one or the other. Okay, I'm expecting another one come next month. I have a little boy, Jessica. She is in violin, been in violin for almost a year, doing very well. Her teacher is real proud of her. She's her teacher's only student, so that teacher practices lessons with her from a 30-minute lesson turns into an hour and 20 minutes, and so she is doing very well. She's on the swim team and has made all A's for her Pine Forest career there as well. Garrett, he starts kindergarten in August, and he's my helper boy. He has a great work ethic. He's got his own work gloves, work boots. He works outside for hours on end with his daddy. He wakes up at 5 in the morning to go fishing with him, and he's a lot of energy, but he's a very good helper. In Brooklyn, she's our little sweetheart, pretty little blonde-headed, blue-eyed little girl, and she melts our hearts, so she's a sweetie. She's 2, and then this new one coming next month. And that's it for us. We're doing great. And so Rebecca says I should tell about Elizabeth. Dawn Elizabeth just moved to California, as we all know. Her boy Don, very athletic, very smart, and he was in quite a few class favorite. He got class favorite 2 years in a row, I believe. Kinley looks just like Elizabeth. She acts just like Elizabeth's sweetheart. And let's see, Donnie Kinley, Sierra, very mature. You think she's 6 years old, she's like 3. And has adult conversations with you, talks about fake nails and stuff like that. And let's see, Sierra, Ty and Rhett, those are the last 2. Cute little boys, fun, easy to get. All her kids have great dispositions. And Dawn Elizabeth, they're very happy, doing well. She called me yesterday and said, tell me everything you're doing. Tell me who's bringing what. Where's it going to be? Tell me the schedule of events. I want to know everything. She want to know everything. Where y'all meeting at? How long y'all staying there? Who's bringing what? She did ask me that. So they seem to be really happy there. They just got a big old Costco playground put in their backyard, and an outdoor swimming pool. So they're trying to have fun in their backyard there and going to the park and enjoying the beautiful weather. But they're looking forward to seeing everybody at the reunion in August.
Do they have a big backyard?
I don't think real big, not saying big. Yes.
Well, since y'all been gone, we have 2 new additions to the family, and here's one. One was planned, the other one was a pleasant surprise. She wanted to say I love you. No, I guess not. But that's one of the few things that she can say. We've moved around quite a bit in the last year and a half, 3 years, and we have since, I guess in about 3 weeks, I have taken the bar 3 times. So 2 in Louisiana, and then 1 over here in Texas. And so about 2 in about 3 weeks. So anyway, that's pretty much it. We live in the house that John and Priscilla used to live in. And we love living here in Packardville. All right, is that everybody? Teresa, where's Teresa? Where's she at? Hey, come on, you get there.
Yeah, okay. I don't have any kids, and I'm not married, but did y'all hear about Michael? I just know real briefly. I don't know too much except for Michael and Amy are in Arizona. Michael's doing an internship, working for a law firm down there, and then they're going to be moving back up to Utah. He has about a year left of law school, and they're pregnant and due, I think, in September. Yeah, and they're real happy, doing real well. Little girl, it's going to be. I think they're going to name her Ella. Anyways, okay, that's Michael. I have another year left of school. I'll be done in April. I'm studying linguistics. I don't really have a boyfriend, or not one specific, so just to let everybody know, because I know that's what they were going to ask me. But somebody was coming to see you. Oh, I don't want to come with them. Well, wait, no. I think that's it. I've been home from my mission for a year and a half. Yes, I'm working selling cell phones, so if anybody needs one, I'll get you a good deal.
They offered her a managerial position. They offered her a managerial position, and she declined it for various reasons, but they offered her.
Yeah, maybe I'll take it after I graduate, but it'd be a good opportunity. So I'm liking school a lot, and I'm a happy girl, and I think that's it. Okay, let me tell you about Serena real quick. I got to see her a week ago. I went out to California, and I got to see Elizabeth also. Serena's doing real well. She said she fell in love with her mission. She said she's the happiest she's ever been. She feels like she's in the temple all the time. And she is still, she writes Clint, that's her boyfriend, well, that was her boyfriend, but we don't know what's going to happen with that, if anyone was wondering. We don't, yeah. Anyways, but she's doing real well. She's training for the second time right now, and she gets all these awards for most lessons taught and, you know, most proselyting hours or whatever. And her mission president loves her, and he always says he wishes that he had a daughter like her. And what else? She says she's real happy and she loves her mission. She'll be home end of November, beginning of December. So.
One last item I failed to mention, but it's perhaps the biggest thing that happened in our family in the last few years. Pam went back to school, and she finishes next month with a teaching certificate. She'll be teaching 7th grade at Butter Junior High this fall. Very proud of her, and our kids have supported her through that.
Good. Hey, I wanted to tell a story on Teresa. She's a lot more popular than you may believe, and what she may lead you to believe. Teresa is extremely popular worldwide. We were way out in the mountains in Verdoso, New Mexico, where Billy the Kid lived, so that he could hide out. It's a place where people go to hide from the real world. And somebody said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Brother Packard." He said, "Packard, are you by chance related to Teresa Packard?" And I said, "Yeah, that's my sister." "Oh my goodness. Your dad's getting home off of his mission real soon, and you're going to go up to Jasper to the lake. I've been trying to date her for so long. She is so hot." Anyway, so I'm just saying that there's people crawling through the mountains longing to date Teresa Packard. And she won't tell you that, but that's the truth.
Crawling through the mountains. Crawling.
Okay, Wade and Vivian.
Way up the mountain. Lacey.
We get a, let's see if I can stretch this out there.
Lacey.
Yeah, I'm gonna, let me see if I can stretch this out.
Hey.
Here, Grandpa.
Lacey. Hey.
I prefer the great-grandma, do all the talking.
Oh, cute.
One thing for sure, all these reports, they're so intelligent that their brain gets ahead and his voice keeps up with it. But Grandpa will talk slow so you can understand. So anyway, I'm thinking right now of the immediate moment when Bernie Nancy drove up. How I felt, I cannot express it. And the poet said, "My heart leaps with joy when I behold a rainbow in the sky. So it was when I was a child. Now it is that I'm a man. Let it be when I grow old, or let me die." That was Wordsworth. My heart leaped with joy when our so and Bernie Nancy drove up. Now, I saw a lot of smiles. They were smothered out a few tears, but I could not retain. I was touched. I couldn't explain it. Of course, my legacy goes way back. All through the years that Bernie and I has been intimately close. Little things he has done. For example, when Grandma was in the hospital and 7 doctors said she wouldn't make it, Bernie said, she may wake up. It was prophetic. She did wake up, survive, and here she is today. And then 3 years ago, at the airport somewhat, as they departed for their mission, Bernie uttered another expression that stuck in my craw. He said, I said, I don't know, you know, we're up in the 80s. I don't know if we'll be here. Hope to. He says, oh, you'll make it. You'll be here. With confidence. Just a little expression, but somewhat prophetic. So I wanted you to know about that. Now my heart leaps with joy when I see all of these children. I hear all the good reports. Unbelievable. And I told Dan a while ago, it's miracles stacked on top of each other. Every little child is mature. They are mature beyond their years that I meet and greet. They hug you. They squeeze the blood out of your legs, hug you. They're little. All of that's sweetness. Love, that's what it's all about. Now, I will venture to say one more thing with respect to their homecoming. Now, when I retired at age 62 years of age, one of my friends said, oh, you'll catch up with all your chores in 2 years and you'll be bored. I said, not me. Not me, not me. Now, I have never found an idle moment, so to speak. I'm trying to stay busy. And month by month, week by week, year by year. Now, I have learned in my dear wife expressed a sentiment that proves to be true. You cannot rest on your laurels. And I submit that Bernie and Nancy will not rest on their laurels. You're not going to be on the grass. You take a little short vacation, but Bernie has been heavily loaded. I've watched him all through the years. Carry stalwart, no wobbling, no retreating, no falling down, sick or whatever. He goes right on. And you know that about Bernie. He never gives up. But anyway, I just want to tell you that you cannot rest on your laurels, Bernie and Nancy. That means a lot. You interpret that on the good deeds you've done. No matter how good you've done, we've got some exhibitions in here I want to do. And all the good you did, if you don't stop, throughout all eternity you'll have work to do and you'll be busy, EUS-wise. So you don't rest on your laurels, you don't stop doing good. You don't take too many vacations. To rest, relax. So anyway, I submit that for what it's worth. So anyway, that's a report from Grandpa and Grandma. We stay busy. We enjoy life. And we busy. We may have to do 3 things today. We're here. We may go to Beaumont, visit with the single adults as they have their party. And then the ward has a party, our full-time ward, at 7 o'clock, which most of you will go. So anyway, those little things, those little tidbits, I'd like to leave with you. And the joy, and my heart leaps with joy. That's the way to express it. And I say this humbly.
All right. We're going to share. Okay.
Have a seat here. Did you know her before you came? Did you ever think of she was young. See, any of the stuff you set up over there, you might get her.
So when you're like 16, she's 13. I didn't even notice her. I didn't even know her. She didn't go to state dance. I didn't know her until she started going to state dance.
Okay. First, I want to say that we felt the love when we came in today, and we were so excited to see all the beautiful children and the families. We missed you so much, and we think you're so wonderful. And thank you so much for showing us love. Now, I want to tell you something. I want all the kids to hear this. When we went on this mission, Grandpa had over, we had over 700 missionaries in the 3 years that we've been out there in Kentucky. And listen to this. You know how Grandpa used to have trouble remembering names? Believe this or not, he knew all 700. He knew their name. He could sometimes remember where they were from, and he remembered all kinds of things about them. Now, isn't that something? He remembered them. He could talk to them just like he was talking to Teresa or someone. Now, Elizabeth and her family came out to visit, and I was telling her this, and she went, oh. So she went into this bulletin board that we had in the mission home that had about 234 missionary pictures on it. It's what presidents use when they're deciding who you're going to have as a companion. And she started taking the pictures off and hiding the name and holding them up. And Grandpa would just say their name just like that, just one after the other. She did about 20 of them, and then she went, wow, the church is true. In other words, the Lord blessed Grandpa with this certain thing that he did not have that he needed, and that was to be able to remember people's names and to know them, because they wanted to know that he knew who they were. Now, what did I do on the mission? I was the wind beneath Grandpa's wings. I did a lot of washing sheets, a lot of cooking meals, and I told Grandpa as I was coming in, he told me when we were leaving, he said, one thing to tell them up there, Nancy, is 9 hugs a day. You know how Grandpa always says that? So I let that be my theme the entire mission. And I taught them 9 hugs a day. 9 hugs a day, we all need it. Just like we need food and water, we need emotional stability. And I taught them that, to give their companion 9 hugs a day, to get used to doing it, where when you go home, you give it 9 hugs to your mama, to your children, and a hug doesn't have to be a bear hug, because everybody likes that kind. But a hug can be a kind word, a kind deed, just being good to others. And so the little thing that they remember that Sister Patrick said was 9 hugs a day, y'all. That's what they said. But anyway, we took those missionaries on as our own children. And Liz, I didn't make as many mistakes this time, because I asked the Lord before I went what my part would be. And my part was to love them. Just love them. That's all. I didn't try to change them. I didn't preach to them. I just loved them. And they felt it. And like I say, some of them hate to see us come home, but in my heart I felt like it was time to come home, because we want to be part of your lives now. I'm excited about seeing some of you play basketball, some of you in beauty pageants, to hear you play the piano. All of those things are so exciting to me. And I want you to know that we love you dearly. Each one of you, you're so special to us. And we're just glad to be home. Even though we're going to miss it. Because, Jeff, I'm telling you, Kentucky is not as hot as Texas. It's beautiful up there. The people are warm and loving. Those people out there in those hills and hollers of Kentucky, they might not want to hear about the gospel of Jesus Christ. But they will take those missionaries in and feed them a good meal. They're good people, and we love them dearly. And it was really hard to leave them. And our neighbor next door, she was crying like a baby when we were leaving. She hated to see us go. But we're glad to be home, and just let us know we can't come to everything, but we do want to come to some things every time we can. And well, unless your heart Grandpa has to say.
And she'll speak again, probably.
Oh yeah, let me brag on this. He won't tell y'all this, but our mission was in the southeast part of the United States. We were #1 for 3 years in a row.
We may not be able to come to every event down here, but I reckon I'll be at 99% of them.
I'm gonna come, and we're getting tomorrow or the next day. I'll be picking up a car in Houston. It's called a Mini Cooper. It's a little British car, about 35 miles to the gallon, and so I can travel. And I'm going to be at the office 2, 3, 4 times a week. I'm going to work some up in Jasper, but not have an office nor a legal secretary. But we are so excited to be here. Nancy was very popular up there in the mission. She is incredible at the podium. In other words, as a speaker. She's electrifying, she's activated. And the missionaries loved her, not only for her cooking, but because she was good to them, and she was motivating. She was what you might call a motivational speaker. She was very good. We made quite an interesting team. Honey, tell them what one state president called us from the podium in a state conference. I think a general authority was present. I'm not sure.
Well, he said he wanted to be like us when he grew up, and he called us Barbie and Ken.
From the podium, he said, there, Barbie and Ken. I turned to her and said, who's Ken?
And I will tell y'all another spiritual experience we had. We spoke at every state conference for 3 years for 5 states. Every one of them we had to speak. And one time, we were to speak the next morning on Sunday morning. And we got, during the night, this little missionary kept calling us. And he kept saying he had a tummy ache. And he was really, finally he said, it's just hurting so bad, President. And I've already talked to the mission doctor, and he says just to lie back down and see if I can get to feel better, but I'm hurting really badly. So, President Packard, now keep in mind, he has no ability as a doctor. He walks back in the bedroom, and he stops, and it's about, I guess, 12 o'clock at night, and he says, that child, I think, has a twisted bowel. I said, really? What makes you think that? He said, I just get this feeling that he does. And he walked back in there, called the missionary on the phone. He said, go to the hospital immediately, to the emergency room. So he did, and believe it or not, the missionary truly did have a twisted bowel, and he would have died had he not gone to the hospital and had it taken care of. We rushed to the hospital that Sunday morning instead of speaking in state conference, and he went to emergency surgery, and it saved his life. So the Spirit was really strong with us while we was out on the mission. And Grandpa was always tuned into it. That first year, I'm telling y'all, I was so homesick for y'all that I couldn't stand to look at your pictures without crying. But then in the second year, I got a little bit better. And most of the third. But as it got near time to come home, I started crying every time I looked at y'all's pictures again. So we just took them off the wall and sent them on home.
Whenever any of our missionaries got sick or injured, I watched it real closely. We were on the phone, and they'd have to go to the hospital sometimes. Frequently, it's from basketball on preparation day. But if they were admitted to stay overnight, we always went. And this trip she just spoke of was a 3-hour trip. Well, he had not been admitted, so we were monitoring it every half hour. And they did emergency surgery, opened him right up, and his bowel, his intestine twisted and totally blocking him up. Well, it was a wonderful mission. I'll just say this, folks, because I don't want to take a lot of time here. We went out for 2 reasons, really 2 reasons only. And one of them, the first one I tell you, was our paramount reason, our main reason. And that was to help our young men and women become better people. Protect them, nurture them, help increase their testimony, increase their work ethic, help them be better husbands and wives, help our young men and our missionaries become better people. The second reason was like unto it, and that was to help the public become better people. And how did we do that? By finding them, teaching them, and baptizing them. And that's what our missionaries' assignment was. And by doing that, We all benefited. The missionaries became better people, and the elect, we like to call them, people in the community became better people. We saw some very interesting things happen. We won't get into the miracles. Our mission was not an exotic mission like in Nigeria, Africa, where there's exotic animals. Ours was just working with people. We were like workhorses with blinders, those blinders things that are on the sides of horses, you know, so they don't look that way or that way. They just straight ahead. Well, for 3 years we were focused that way, and we did. But let me just tell you about a couple of our missionaries who needed a great deal of attention. One of them we pulled through. The other one is halfway through his mission, and we're still praying and keeping our fingers crossed, hoping the new mission president can do some things that perhaps we were not able to do. The first one, early in his mission, the interview, I have an interview with each one every 6 weeks, and he didn't believe in Joseph Smith. He didn't believe in Christ, and so I said to him, you know, you're already 8 months old out here. I mean, was Christ raised from the dead? He didn't know. And I said, well, you know, we believe in life after death, I guess, so why? He wasn't sure about that. And I said, well, why do we keep the commandments? Why do we try to do good? And he said, well, it's a good way to live. It's a nice way to live. Well, we kept working with him, and he turned the corner. And he was a very good missionary, and I called him later on to be a zone leader, and he was a great leader. The other one, immensely troubled. I'm telling you, perhaps our 2 weakest missionaries out of 700, perhaps. He was very troubled, and he still is, even to this day. And as I visited with him, he didn't know about Joseph Smith, he didn't know about Jesus Christ. And so I finally said, well, listen, just tell me, do we even live again after we die? And he said, well, I don't know, but I hope not. And it really caught my attention. So what I'm saying to all you young men, I'm totally convinced that all of you young men are going to be more prepared when you go out on your missions than most of our missionaries are, because you have such good tutors, good training, good parents. So I'm so proud of you. Now, all of the other missionaries, the 685 missionaries, were really good missionaries. Our mission was a wonderful mission. They were friendly with each other. They worked hard. There was this thing where they didn't want to let Sister Packard or President Packard down. And that's big. It's like one of you not wanting, Blake, it's like you not wanting to let Daddy down. You don't want to disappoint your daddy. I know you, and you're such an honorable boy. So, well, let me just share another little thing on our way home. I was reminded that you never know who's watching you. I may have told you this many years ago. I was in a little store. I stopped at a little store between here and Houston, a little on the side of the road to get an ice cream sandwich. And as I was getting this ice cream sandwich, this clerk, who was a total stranger to me, said, "How's Sarah and the kids?" Wow! I was so glad that I wasn't buying something bad, like a package of cigarettes or something. This lady said, "How's Sarah and the kids?" I didn't know she knew me. It turned out to be Joe Williamson's niece, Gloria's, I think it was Gloria's daughter, one of her daughters, and we got to talking. Well, here we are up in Nauvoo, on the way home here, and we're in this visitor center, part of the Nauvoo temple, and this lady, she steps up to me and she says, just last week, "Do you happen to be related to Bernie Packard?" And I said, "Well, in a way." She said, "I knew him many years ago down in Bible." It was Sally Drawhorn. That's a sister to Wheat Franklin. And I said, "My goodness, I'm Bernie Packard." She said I'm Sally Drawhorn. I said, "I'm Bernie Packard." She said, "Oh my goodness, this was Wheat Franklin." So we talked a bit, and all right. Well, we had a wonderful mission, and loved every bit of it. I'll tell you this, I think the Lord favored both of us. because I was fairly healthy before we went, but not always totally healthy. For 3 years, neither of us suffered one day of illness.
Well, one time he got to feeling a little puny and Sandy showed up.
But let me say it a different way. I was never in bed. I was never in bed a day from illness. I mean, if we got a raspy voice or something, or tired, we dealt with it, but we were never sick. We were never sick. All right. Honey, have we covered it?
Before we went on the mission, we visited over in Houston, and this mission president, we went over there to see how they did it, you know, to kind of get some experience. And this mission president told President Packard, or Bernie, look, if those missionaries don't make an appointment with you, don't let them in the house. Talk to them on the doorstep. And I sat there, and it was hot, and she didn't even ask me for a glass of water. And when we were leaving over in Houston that day, 3 years ago, I said, President Packard, I don't know how we're going to do this, but we're not going to do it how they do it. So we had an open door policy in Kentucky. Those missionaries on P-Day, they came to our house, they played volleyball in the backyard. We worked, we did service projects with them. We got right out there and laid brick or whatever they were doing as service projects, we did it with them. If they were playing volleyball or dodgeball or whatever, we was right there with them, played, worked, and they loved us because we treated them just like we treat y'all, like our own children. So we had the open door policy. If they got to feeling emotionally hurting at 2 o'clock in the morning, they could call President Packard, and he wouldn't make them feel guilty for doing that. He would actually kind of wake up to talk to them. Most of the time he'd wake up. So we stayed tired a lot because we gave it all we had for 3 years.
Yep, and one pair of missionaries, they were asleep. And
They knocked on our bedroom window.
They knocked on our bedroom window. So we got up and I went to the door and I said, hi elders, how are y'all doing? And what's up? Well, we needed to talk to you. And I said, wow, you know, we might have been kissing or something like that. Normally they call me. You know, we got cell phones this day and age. One little story. I taught a great principle very often about member missionary work. How these young men would come to our home many years ago. And I saw the light of Christ in one of them. And I talked to him and decided he needs to meet the missionaries. And so I lined them up. Now, mind you, I'm teaching these people up there member missionary work. And I lined him up with the missionaries. And then I told the audience, I said, we were the finders. The missionaries did the teaching. They taught this young man the gospel. He joined the church, went in the military, finished college, went on a mission, came back home. Now he's my bishop, and he's my son-in-law. He's given me 6 children. And after I shared this story, and I shared it in a kind of dramatic way, a fellow came up to me afterwards and he said, you were talking about other children, weren't you? And I said, yeah, because I had mentioned Bowling Green. And I mentioned Fort Hood. Is Fort Hood the one that's up there? Fort Hood. And he said, you were talking about other children. And I said, yes, as a matter of fact, I am. He's married my daughter. And then he said, he was my zone leader in Arizona. And then he complimented him and told how great a missionary he was. And I said, well, he's a great father and a great husband, so congrats to you. I was proud that this young man, whose name I have forgotten, and I told you about this earlier, some time ago, you were his zone leader, and you did him a good job.
Don't drag it out the time about your daddy's conference.
Okay, I'll just share this real quickly. During the 3-year mission, every once in a while, I would make reference to the fact that your great-grandfather, who was my father, see, I'm your grandfather, so my daddy is your great-grandfather, served a mission right there in the Kentucky-Louisville mission. Incredibly. Exactly 50 years ago. It was 1955. Here it is 2005, precisely 50 years ago. He served a mission there. Well, it was a huge mission in that day, and it included Chattanooga, Tennessee. I knew he served in Chattanooga, and I knew he served in Roanoke, Virginia. And both of those are far away from our mission now. They're not part of our mission. And I said, I know that Louisville was the headquarters, and I have not met anybody who knew him. After the meeting was over, I didn't even tell his name, but they knew I was President Packard. So after the meeting was over, this man and his wife stepped up to me. They were old and said, "We knew an Elder Packard. Don't know if he was your father, but he was an older man. This Elder Packard that we knew had a large family." And I said, "Wow." And then he said, "He was a little man." And I thought, wow, because my daddy came up to here on me, up to my nose. And then he clinched it with two statements. He said, well, the Elder Packard that we knew had just gotten out of prison camp. He was a prisoner of war in Japan. Well, your great-grandfather, Forrest Packard, was. And I said, my goodness, how well did you know him? And then he said, well, here's what happened. Right after he finished his mission, he went home, this Elder Packard that we knew, and he got killed in an airplane crash. And I said, that's my father. And then he and his wife took us on a brief tour out through the country of this town, which is in our mission. It's on the far eastern side, close to Virginia. And he showed us places where Forrest Packard served as a missionary and went and walked. The streets he walked, we were walking exactly because he said, we met in this a building that used to be right here, and here's the foundation to it. And then he showed us another building about a mile away, which had collapsed, and there it was, collapsed, an old wooden building with a tin roof. He said, this is where we had mission conferences. Now that's not, no wait, district conferences, not district meetings. You know the difference. District, it's like a state conference. General authority and all. And so your great-grandfather served there. Well, it turns out that he and his wife were converts. They were investigators that Daddy taught. Okay, we're done, I think.
Y'all want to hear anything else? You don't want us to be quiet. No. I can tell you one other thing. When most of y'all met President Miller when he came down to the state conference to speak. Elder Miller, he was the president of our entire area. Well, when we did something up there in Kentucky, we did it Texas style. I mean, it couldn't have been done any better. I made sure of that. Well, he came and stayed 3 days at our house and went to all of our zone conferences with us and so forth and so on. And y'all know that coconut cake, Chris, that y'all like so much? I made that cake. And we're right here in zone conference, and there's a lot going on. And he comes up and whispers in my ear, did you have any of that coconut cake? And anyway, he, later on, we were down when they made a new stake down in Lexington, and they had 2 new state presidents, their wives, counselors, everybody there that day. And President said, Sister Packard, don't worry. We're not going to have to talk today. You can just rest easy. There's too many people on the program, 2 new state presidents.
All those being released.
Yeah, everybody.
And brand new, 2 new teams being called. That turns out to about 12 people.
And Elder Miller was in charge of the program. So we sit down up on the front, of course, but way in the back of the front. And he comes over there and shakes hands, talks to us and everything. And then the program starts. And I feel in my heart, the Spirit says, Sister Packard, you're going to have to talk. And I think, no, I don't think so. There's a lot of people. And Bernie said I wasn't going to have to. So, and anyway, I kept feeling it really strong in my heart. So I lean over and I say, Bernie, you said we weren't going to have to talk today. Are you sure? Because I always get scared when I have to talk. I'll go ahead and tell the truth. It was a lot of people there. And he said, well, you might ought to write down a few notes. And sure enough, President Miller got up and said, we will now hear a few words from Sister Packard. My heart just, but that just goes to show when the Spirit, when you really feel the Spirit, listen to it. Don't deny it.
Well, he made reference to her accent. He says, I love Sister Packard's accent. It's a southern accent. We will now hear a few words from her. I breathed a sigh of relief. She finished her talk. Then he stood up again and he said, Sister Packard didn't take very long, so we'll now hear from her husband.
Oh, man.
We're always ready.
Always ready.
I think we've taken enough time. We love you very much. Turn it over to Stephen.
These politicians out here at Texas where it's at. So it looks like a real signature.
So where are you speaking? Everywhere?
Like that song.
Y'all got a whole night's rest last night?
Okay,
Hot dog.
Okay, one more time. Wow, good job.
What about for your general authorities? When you're really pulling out the red chocolate or whatever? Put your best foot forward.
I did all that.
Allrecipes.com.
We did singing party. We did them up right. We had steaks most of the time, but then we had steak.
How many couples did you have?
Well, we started off with quite a few, and then we ended up with not very many.
I tried out and singing, I didn't make it.
Hey! Hey, cute boy! Hey! What are you doing? Ah! What are you doing?
Y'all just unpack, try to sleep, You're going right away.
Well, I thought it
Yeah. Hey, looks like that outfit used to be on
It's neat to see all of his clothes.
Yes, you might not have. I know mine was asleep, but I'll bet my dog's Did you want to go swimming?
What you got, Avery? What is it? Chips? Really? What's your name? What's your last name? Avery what? Avery Thaggard? What's your phone number? 9233.
And are you 5 years old?
Yeah.
Sure act like it.
What's your daddy's name? Yes, you do. Yeah, that's right. What's your mommy's name? Yeah.
Green umbrella fire.
Hey, hi, Austin. How are you doing? What are you eating? You don't know? Is it good? I've never.
My back almost went out playing. Too much stomping and shoving, you know.
Yeah.
9-6. Wait.
Pull it.
9-5.
And one more.
Good job.
Oh, I didn't think you were going to hit.
Oh, yeah. 11-5?
That was twice. Hit it over here twice.
Sure?
Yeah. Double down.
Okay, 9 tiles.
I like that.
What?
And over on this corner of the mansion, we have